big boys here owe how much billion worth of tax, getting how much thing write-offs. That's why they're pushing an agenda. Them not have no fairness in a them. I be a favor them report news pan favor, and them still a get government contract for the broadcasting for government. Bless up ABR family and viewers. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl and Isabel Rose. And in this one, the lawmakers are hung on controversial IC gag clause in Section 53 of the Integrity Commissions Act, as well as multiple updates. Stay tuned for the details at hand. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Notification shout out goes to Chelsea Clinton. Big up yourself, my sis. Thanks for the continued support from each and every one. Now, kicking off this first segment with updates following the information that I gave yesterday in a video of the 14-year-old girl that an unsound intruder went into her home, sexually assaulted her, and then proceeded to hit her with an hammer. It's with great sadness that I bring this update to say that the little girl has passed. She died. She succumbed to her injuries. My God, this is so sad. What a brutal act. It's even alleged that the residents held the so-called madman and police interceded and they had to release him and he ran away. Now, whether or not he's of unsound mind, them for all him, man. It is so sad the little girl had to go through that. It's even alleged that he was putting arguments, sexual arguments to this little girl from before. And what would I really want to say on this social media YouTube channel here, maybe if me even say it, them ban it. I have one child, one little daughter, and I would like to hear a big man putting an argument to her at 12, at 13, at 14, and I don't do anything about it. Nobody never hear this little girl here crying at the house. We have to be more vigilant, man. Be with brother's keeper. We can't sit back and hear even a child a cry or hear a noise in our apartment and we not try if we go seek out and find out. We can't just lackadaisical so. But I am not here to blame anybody, but condolences goes out to the family. This is so heart-wrenching. This is so heartbreaking. Rest in peace, little baby girl. She goes by the name of Price Johnson and she was a student of the Haile Selassie High School. Another update here as it pertains to the mayor who was assaulted at his home, chopped several times in the head. It is now said that a man has been charged for the machete attack on the Sedans Bay Mayor Michael Belnavis at his property. And that gentleman, they say, goes by the name of Chad Thomas of Ramble in Oracabessa in the same parish. And he was charged for housebreaking, wounded with intent, and malicious destruction of property. This is the same gentleman that they said that was shot in the incident. My people, this can't get no spookier. Now, following the onslaught against the People's National Party General Secretary Dayton Campbell from the so-called task force of the Jamaica Labour Party, specifically this brother here called Marlon Morgan, who stated in many aspects of their conference that KCMC has been probed by two key anti-corruption agencies in which, when asked, he could not even say those two agencies' name. And so it is said that there is no probe yet into any KCMC misuse claims by any two key agencies. So we all suspected that a lie, because why wouldn't he state the names? And so we don't need an eyeglass to see that he's basically working assiduously with the Jamaica Labour Party to try and create a scandal in their mind that does not exist. And the people them go dig up them file, and both him and Abka Fitz-Henley, Abka, who is the parliamentary secretary, getting how much $10 million for the year, and the same Marlon Morgan guy here, who is the director executive service, reporting to the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Education. Them a get paid off of taxpayers' dollar, and we are pay them, and instead of them do the work for the people, what are they doing? They're doing work for Jamaica Labour Party, so we are pay them for do Jamaica Labour Party work. Because him come out, Marlon coming out and being the spokesperson for them, pushing them political campaign, and Abka, who is supposed to be working as a parliamentary secretary, had to be a press briefing for the Jamaica Labour Party. And them a collect big salaries off of the back of the Jamaican people. That's why them a do what them a do. Not to mention this so-called JLP FM here, where it's alleged that NNN owes over $1 billion in taxes. Them are part of the problem why the education system are run down, why other sectors, health sectors, running down, because them big boys here owe how much billion worth of tax, getting how much thing write-offs. That's why they're pushing an agenda. Them not have no fairness in a them, a be a favor, them report news pan favor, and them still a get government contract for the broadcasting for government, and them sit down pan with tax dollars where them supposed to pay tax to. But the tax department them run down the little layman them for the taxes, and if you're not mind sharp, them want confiscate all your house, confiscate all the asset where you have. But them big boys here can get with scotch free. Now we hear the update of the People's National Party saying that they're going to take legal action against the big smear campaign that they put out yesterday. Them need to take legal action against NNN as well. Now in this segment, we see lawmakers basically hung on the whole gag clause as it pertains to Section 53 of the Integrity Commissions Act. And they're deciphering whether or not they should remove this gag clause from the Integrity Commissions Act. We've seen the National Integrity Action, we've seen Jamaican for Justice, and many other bodies calling for the gag clause to be removed. And this here Minister of Justice, Delroy Chuck, as well as the People's National Party, Julian Robinson, spoke on the whole matter. And the Justice Minister was speaking on reputational damage. I'm going to make you hear what he said, and then me drop my 2 cents on it.
Making a public statement so as to enhance but not compromise the investigation. The factors on the basis of which a SFO decides whether to issue a public statement include: firstly, public interest; secondly, reputational damage or harm to individuals or businesses under investigation; thirdly, level of detail required to ensure high levels of accuracy in reporting; fourth, other information which is in the public arena, for example, confirmation of a referral to the SFO by another agency, and investigations into the relevant matter by other organizations. Taking the above into account, the website of the SFO identifies a number of entities that the SFO is investigating. Information on cases is published in categories of open, investigation, prosecution, and closed. Please note that in some instances, the identification of the entities accompanied by this request. Please contact the SFO if you have information that may be relevant to this investigation by emailing now. In the interest of completeness, this is what NI is. We should note, quote, the SFO will not generally comment on an investigation until the point where charges, if any, are filed. Question why? A statement that the SFO is investigating a person or entity can cause damage which cannot be remedied even where it is later decided there is insufficient evidence to commence proceedings. Now, that latter part, Chairman, is what we have stuck by. We said, don't comment on an investigation until you're almost at the point where you're going to make a charge. Because once you charge, or you say it has been referred, to the director or to the DPP for a charge to be laid. And so, Chairman, I'm not too sure that we need to modify Section 53 at all. Because what we should, and my position is Section 53 was put there to avoid reputational damage to public officials, so that if you start commenting on an investigation, from you say that a person, or for that matter, a municipal corporation is being investigated, it raises so many reputational damage. You see, Chairman, where it is reported that, say, a municipal corporation is being investigated. Everybody starts to say, I wonder who do this, wonder who do that. It's the same, Chairman, I would say, what should be noted, the commissioners in their annual report should also be very careful about who they say or what body they say are being investigated. Because if they come out with a report that they're investigating, say, 2 permanent secretaries, as I mentioned last week, it creates reputational damage to that body, say, of permanent secretaries. I'm not saying they have done so. But when you do that, you create a problem of speculation, and that is why I've repeatedly said Section 53 was put there, and I was a part of that Joint Select Committee to avoid reputational damage to public officials, which at the end of the day, it is as the New Zealand position say, you can't remedy it. Don't care how you say that, you withdraw the speculation. So, Chairman, as far as I'm concerned, even though most of the submissions are saying the so-called gag clause should be removed, it is there to avoid reputational damage, and my position is that it should remain as is.
I mean, I heard what Member Chuck read on the New Zealand guidelines. I really wanted to hear the specific legislation, because what he read, in my view, still leaves a lot of discretion open to the particular anti-corruption body to determine whether it comments or not. Now, when it said, the critical thing that Member Chuck said from the New Zealand legislation was it wouldn't comment until it is in a position to recommend. In our scenario, a recommendation has to go to the Director of Corruption Prosecution, who can either agree or disagree. Now, if you follow that principle, you would maintain the status quo, as is right now, because that's in essence what exists now, which is that a report comes to the Parliament, is tabled, a recommendation has been made, and an indication is provided as to whether that recommendation has been either adopted or rejected. But as I said, I still want to, Member Chuck sent it to me, I'd like to see the specific wording of the legislation. But I think, like Member Chuck, I do have the concerns about the inability to repair damage once an announcement is made, and that great care must be taken in how we treat with this particular clause. I think that the challenge is and I know investigations take a long time, particularly related to financial matters. I think the length of time in tabling reports, is what gives rise to the speculation and the anxiety. I'm not with Member Chuck on the issue of the annual report of the Integrity Commission. I'm not offended by the particular not clauses, the descriptions. I'm not offended by that because I do believe as part of their own accountability in terms of an agency which receives a very large budget, it is important to know who they are investigating and where they are with those investigations. So it doesn't bother me that particular categories are highlighted. I think the reality is that in our society, members of parliament, just by virtue of who we are, get more scrutiny than everybody else.
Now, as it pertains to the whole gag clause removal, I am for it and I am against it. I don't know if I can stay in the middle as it pertains to my opinion on it. In the sense where if it's an investigation about illicit enrichment or any form of corruption as it pertains to our taxpaying dollars and these public servants here, I believe that the Integrity Commission in that aspect should complete majority of the investigation before they come out and let the public know. Because look at it, if, for example, we're seeing where others would have been, charged for not bringing in a document on time, and they would have been fined and then pay them fine. I don't believe those reports should continue to come to Parliament. I don't know what says Uno if the situation was resolved. Forget about their reputation. Because then when those reports come to the Parliament that are resolved, then you have people running with the wrong narrative. But if it's a report about illicit enrichment, as I stated, I do believe that the Integrity Commission can report on it before the investigation is even completed. That's my opinion. Tell me what you think, if you don't agree with it, yes or no. What says y'all? Should the gag clause be removed all to complete from the Integrity Commission Act? I do believe that the gag clause should be removed from all the government members of Parliament. That's what I'm saying right there. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Get this video to at least 5,000 likes. Stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned for more updates. Big up on yourself.
Thanks.